People sold drugs, gang bang, but I wanted to do something different. I really feel good because I came out here with a statement. All those guys, man, are really good people. Sean Bruce, Jalen Adams, Quad Noy, Spurs, JG, Calaris, Henry Lau, like those guys, like they all like embrace me, right?
Where do you want to begin? Like, I never have an intro to these things either, by the way. I just go with the flow.
You got a question, I got the answer.
Where did it all begin? Where did your college from the start?
From the start?
Yes.
So I'm originally from Illinois, so I grew up there, and I grew up in a tough environment, right? So the only way out, pretty much from my point of view, was people sold drugs, gang bang, but I wanted to do something different. Like I was always taught to be a leader, not a follower, right? And I saw basketball as a way out at an early age, right? Like I looked up to Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant and Gilbert Arenas, guys like them, and knew that basketball, by dribble passing and shooting, like it could get me out of that environment and potentially I could provide for my future family, And so I had that mindset at an early age, since I was a peewee. So that's kind of where it started. So there, and obviously, as I got older, my parents, we moved to Arkansas, and then I played in high school there on a great team with some of my best friends still to this day. We all got college scholarships and went on to college to play. And I started off college in junior college, so I had to go all the way to Arizona. For people that don't know what junior college is, so that is a 2-year school where you can get your associate's degree at. And I went to Arizona, got my associate's degree, and then I transferred to another junior college for my sophomore year and played and was one of the top point guards in the country, led the country in assist to turnover ratio, most steals, most assists in school history for a single season. So I had a pretty good year there, and then, a little adversity hit me. By me being the first one in my family to go to college, I didn't understand when you transfer, all your credit hours don't transfer with you. So, so I was getting recruited by some colleges, and they wanted to take a look at my unofficial transcript. So when I go on my visits, they can put me in front of the people I need to be put in front of. And then I found out I was ineligible. I wasn't even going to graduate because the credit hours that transferred from my first school in Arizona to my other school didn't transfer. A lot of them didn't transfer. So I think only 9 transferred, and you need 12 to be considered a full-time student.
So what happened there then? What's the process?
So basically I played a whole year for no reason because I wasn't able to graduate. So to qualify for NCAA, you have to have a total of 64 credit hours, and you have to graduate from that institution that you were at. And I had neither. So I needed a whole nother year of school. And, my junior college coach, Scott Edgar, he wanted me to come back, basically sit out, help him coach, but also get more credit hours so then I can transfer to a 4-year university and play. And I really didn't like school like that, so now I've been playing basketball my whole life, and then basketball's got taken away from me. So now I don't know how to act, right? I don't know how to be just a normal student and go about my day-to-day life without playing basketball. You do whatever you want to me. You take that ball away, man, it's different. Like, it is something that don't feel right. I'm having withdrawals, right? So came back pretty much, and it was a blessing in disguise. It really was. Little did I know going back into that year, because that was the first time in my life where I kind of had that doubt that doubt about, am I still going to be able to play, right? Because even though I got a chance to go back to school and get more credit hours to try to get scholarships to go back and play, but I wasn't playing, right? And that was the big question, because now I have to kind of compete against people who are playing that can get those full-year scholarships. And compared to me, which I played last season, and I didn't play this current season, you know. So, you know, but I'm a big firm believer in God. Like, all I did was just stuck to what I knew best, and that's work, right? So I'm still waking up early in the morning, working out, during the day working out, practicing with the team, watching film. And I started to see the game from a coach's point of view. You know, I started to see the game from a coach's point of view and understood why in the past, why my coach used to yell at me and get on to me for either taking that shot or making the right pass or understanding time, situation, you know, understanding the flow of the game and how to control the game. So I started to see from a coach's point of view, right? And it made my IQ go up, right? And it also showed me how bad I really wanted it, even though I didn't know what was to come, if I was going to get a scholarship or not. So pretty much all the schools that offered me before, they already signed somebody at my position. But so I had some smaller schools that came into play and was calling me. And me being young and dumb at the time, I was feeling myself arrogant, like just from the season I had before. These smaller schools are calling, offering me, wanting me to come on visits, and I'm just like, no. Because I thought I was better than that, you know, and looking back on it now, nah, I shouldn't have been like that. But it was like, and they were some pretty good schools too. They were, but they were just very, very small. And, you know, my college coach was just like, what offers do you have right now? Like, I'm like, but I had this. You're like, you did. It's not there anymore, right? If somebody wants you, you know, and it's going to benefit your future and they're going to pay for your school, we gotta see if this is it a good fit for you, but also we need to take this, right? Because we don't have anything.
Yeah.
So I went on a couple visits to the schools, but it was one school that stood out, and the coach name was James Hayes at William Wood University, right? And I had a big bro of mine that I played with in high school. He went to the school, did his thing, was a legend at the school, Hall of Famer at the school as well. And so he kind of put in a word for me as well with Coach Hayes, because Coach Hayes coached him. And Coach Hayes was a young coach, right? He was young, so he was more like a big brother coaching us instead of like a dictator and mean and stuff like that. But he was hard on me though, like, you know. And when I went on my visit, like, he was honest and he was real and genuine, you know. And I told him straight up, man, can I be a pro coming out of here? And he told me, he was just like, if you come here, do what you're supposed to do, handle business, you know, I'll help you and try to help you as best as possible, right? And, you know, he gave me the keys to the ship. That's all I needed to hear. And I went there, man, and I handled business, you know, after sitting out a year, coming All-American AMC player, all-conference player, breaking school records, single-season steal record, single-season assist record. Man, it was crazy. And then we had a great team around us. Like, you know, I can't take all the credit. My teammates was some dogs. Like, we was some dogs on the court, you know. And, you know, but I stuck to the process. You know, I had great assistant coaches as well, and grad assistants like that are going on to be associate head coaches now at Division I schools.
You still keep in contact with them?
I still keep in contact with them all the time, you know, because without me going there and meeting those people and those coaches and those teammates, they pushed me to a whole nother level, right? Because I was just coming off of a year where I didn't play, you know, and the beginning of the season was a little rocky. I had to find my rhythm back, you know, and I didn't know how that felt, right? Because I've been playing basketball my whole life consistently, you know, it's never been really taken away from me.
Yeah.
So it was like I had to find my rhythm. I had to find that swagger, you know, build that confidence back up, getting used to the game speed, the refs, the smell of the popcorn, the crowd, like, you know, the timeouts, just all of that stuff, you know. And And then once I found that groove back, it was over with. I ain't never looked back after that. So that was just kind of the intro to like, me getting to kind of where I am right now. But, it was a lot more adversity and stuff like that I had to go through and seen as a kid as well.
To get to where you are now.
Yeah. It kind of made me who the person I am today as well.
Do you remember your earliest memory of basketball? Like either watching on TV, playing?
I remember just the first time I heard a basketball bounce, right? I fell in love with it. It was just like, how people say love at first sight. Well, I was love in hearing and all my five senses clicking in at first sight.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like, I loved the sound of the ball, how it popped back up. I love how it rolls on your finger, how the seams of the ball, like I love the sound of the net pop when you shoot it the right way. I really fell in love with that because basketball was something that you can do by yourself as well, like for me, it was like when I was going through stuff, that was something that I went to. That was my coping mechanism, when I was having a bad day, I can go shoot or dribble, my parents then will make me mad. I can sneak out the house. I'll run to go to the park or go shoot in the backyard, stuff like that. But to get back on, like that was kind of the first memory that I had with basketball. And I knew from that point, I'm like, whatever it is about this, I'm gonna do it. Like, yeah. And obviously growing up watching Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant and stuff like that, I seen like, basketball by dribble, passing, and shooting, this can change my life.
Yep.
And I grew up in a tough environment. Like, my parents and them had me at 17 going on 18 years old, right? So they were a kid raising a kid and bringing a kid into this world, And my mom and my dad, they sacrificed a lot, for me as well, and looking on it now as me being a grown man now, and it was like, I can't imagine right now having a kid.
Yeah,
like,
me neither.
I can't. So it's like, I got to really tip my hat off to them because, looking back on it now, it's like, dang, like they really sacrificed a lot for me to be able to turn my dreams into a reality now as well, So yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, did you ever picture yourself playing over here in Australia when you were a kid?
Nah, man. Honestly, as a kid, I didn't even know where Australia was.
Somewhere on the map.
I didn't even know Australia existed in the world. Honestly, at that point, when I was a kid, man, all I knew and all I thought of was NBA.
Yeah.
I ain't know about going to college and playing. Like as a kid, I just knew NBA. Like I'm gonna play professional basketball, NBA, right? But it's funny, right? Like I remember in second grade on Careers Day at school, I remember everybody got up and said what they wanted to be when they grow up, and when it was my turn, I remember they asked, like my teacher asked, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, I'm gonna be a professional basketball player. And she was like, oh, it's no such thing as that. Like you, like no, like what do you want to be? I was like, a professional basketball player, and I really meant that. And she was like, she knew she couldn't convince me like otherwise. So she was like, okay, so what's your plan B? And I remember in second grade, I looked her in the eye and said, my plan B is gonna make my plan A work.
That's good.
And she was like, okay, go sit down. And I remember that was the first time in my life when I heard somebody tell me I wasn't going to be that or wasn't able to do that. And I remember I cried, right? I cried because it hurt me so bad, but also it turned me into a savage, right? Because I knew if I didn't believe in myself, who else would, right? And I took that mindset on. So I made a promise to myself, right? I don't care what my teacher said, my friend said, my mom, my dad, my cousins, sister, anybody that encountered or came into my life said that if they said I couldn't do something or if it's just a random person, I'm going to do it but not to do it to prove it to them, but to prove it to myself, right? Because when you start to do things to try to prove to others, right, you lose sight and you lose focus on who you are as a person, right? And I had this mindset at an early age.
Yeah,
man.
very. I don't want to thinking like that at that
early age, man. Like I was thinking about my future and my future family and like helping my family get out of the environment that I grew up in, man. Like that was my mindset. So I kind of had a very, very mature mindset, early.
Yeah, that's very mature. I don't think I was thinking like that. I don't think anyone would be thinking like that at that age. And now you're here. Yeah. Look at you now. You proved them wrong.
Right.
Which is, I think, I don't understand why teachers would do that. I was lucky I never really had that.
Right.
But I know a lot of kids have had that where people just tell you no or trying to like ruin your dreams.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I think because of the environment that I was in, right, where it wasn't much there. Like all we seen and that was around in my area when I grew up in Illinois was gangbanging, robbing, killing, like, drug dealing, like stuff like that, is what we seen. So that's all we knew, right? Like I didn't know it was mansions and all this stuff in the world. I mean, I thought it was, but I've never seen that, right? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure a lot of my peers and my friends at an early age, they've never seen that. You know what I mean? So that was kind of like a fairy tale. So it's like, when you have a small and you have a closed mind, like, what else are you supposed to think? But like I'm very imaginative, and I think big and stuff like that. So it was like, well, it's my dream, so it is what it is. Like that was just me. So yeah, but I would never tell a kid that or anybody that, like, if you put in the time, the effort, the work in, hey, whatever comes with it, You
get you get out of it what you put in.
Yeah, for sure.
In any walk of life, no matter what it is, you put the effort in and the hard work behind the scenes, it pays off. Like in my line of work, as people I know, I know how much work they put in, whether it's editing or doing whatever, they're staying up late hours in the night, and it pays off.
Right.
It's the same with you basketball. You put the work in. Yeah. Well, now you're living in Australia, living in Sydney, one of the best cities in the world.
Right. Definitely love it. I love
playing basketball.
I love it, man.
Living the dream. But did you going back to your college years? Did you still keep in touch with those players? Any of the players overseas at all? They still play?
Yeah. So I keep in touch with a lot of the guys I played with in college. One of my teammates, Brian Enriquez, he's over in the Philippines playing right now. Yeah, Brian was older than me, actually. He graduated before me, but he went over to the Philippines and played. And I think Brian won a championship his first year out, so his rookie year, like, yeah. So, but my college team, we were stacked. One of my good college friends, Shad Kimball, that's my guy. He played as well, but now he's into media and stuff like that. So a lot of the guys they end up playing, but now they ventured off in other things into life that they're passionate about now. Yep. But all were great college players, man. Like great college players and great people too. At the end of the day,
that makes a big difference. Yeah. Especially the team you're on. If you're good people, your team is so chemistry is so important.
Chemistry, yeah, it definitely is. And like I said, I still keep in contact with the coaches, and all the coaches are succeeding and moving on. After what we did there, it's good to not just see us as players move on in our careers and life, but also seeing the coaches as well move up from grad assistants to assistant coaches to associate head coaches and stuff like that, and moving up levels as well, So it was definitely a blessing to be a part of that, university.
It was D1?
Yeah, Division One, NAI, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's a high level. I said to you off camera before. That's a high level to play at. But it was a smaller.
It's a small. Yeah, it was a smaller one, but the conference was tough, man. It was tough. Like night in, night out. It was a tough conference, like for real. Like So
is that when you came across? You said Zach. Hudson?
Yeah,
is that when you played
Zach. Yeah, Zach. That plays out here with Hills Hornets. Great player in college as well. Very energetic, a passionate guy. His team was really, really good. They were really, really good in college. Like, they had some dogs over there.
Did you beat him?
I beat them my junior year. Like we beat them my junior year, and I think senior year they got us.
Yeah,
they got us senior year. Yeah, because
Okay.
their team, I think they went on to the national tournament.
Yeah.
But Zach team they was nice.
It's a small world.
Yeah, it
you
is.
can play
It-
in
it
America,
is.
and then you're both on the other side of the world.
Yep.
And then you know what I mean. You're both in the same city,
Right,
But
right,
It's just
right,
I think
yeah.
it's crazy how the world works.
It is, man.
Like, I bet you would both of you never would have thought you'd be playing
Yeah.
in Sydney from back then.
Yeah, exactly.
You could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
That's what I love about basketball. It can take you
Yep.
anywhere. Like,
Yeah,
did you say
yeah.
where else did you play? I remember you saying you said.
I've been, man, basketball's took me to Canada. It's took me to Europe. You know, like
that was at Switzerland.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
that
was
was it,
over in
yeah.
Switzerland, you know, and like now here in Australia. So it's crazy, right? Like from me being a little boy and having this dream, right? And by dribble passing and shooting, man, and using this orange round thing that can take you
Yeah.
around the world, right? Is a blessing, right? And just having that mindset and determination to turn my dreams into a reality, man. Just like going to Canada for the first time for basketball was crazy, right? Like even though it's basically the U.S. still
Yeah.
like right on top of each other, but just taking that plane over there and showing them your passport and going to play over there in a big arena and stuff like that, man, was crazy. I'm like, dang, like
It was a
okay.
different country.
Yeah, it is. And then me going to Switzerland, like going to Europe for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what? Like, and then it's like long flight and all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? But then hearing people speak a different language all around you, and Switzerland is a melting pot, right? Beautiful country. You got the Swiss German, you got the Swiss French, you got the Swiss Italian, So I was on the French side of it a little bit, but just getting to experience the culture of everything and seeing how people view Americans, but also see how curious people are about Americans as well, right? And seeing how they embraced me and took me in, was a warm welcome.
How was that? How were you received? Like, for you as well, how was it you seeing like how they live and big culture shock?
It was, man, because it's like the things that, I took or, some Americans we take for granted, right? Like they're big on family time over there and, during the day stuff shuts down. Like I'm trying to go to the store, go get some food, close until like 5, 6 o'clock. I'm like, what?
Yep.
Stuff closing a little bit earlier. In America, we got stuff open 24 hours. And just even like the washer and dryer situation, like we can wash the clothes and you got to hang it up to dry.
Oh,
I'm
right.
like,
Yeah.
And Switzerland is cold, man. So I'm like, how is my stuff
Yeah.
supposed to get dry? So now I'm going to do basketball stuff and my socks is wet
that's the
and,
worst.
stuff like that, man. So it was things that it made me open up my eyes to, definitely I'm like, yo, I don't know if some people can adjust to this, but it's beautiful though. Like, I'm waking up to mountains and lakes in the background, just even like going on walks, just walking around and catching public transportation, because public transportation in Europe is big.
Yeah, Switzerland. I think Swiss is one of the best.
Yeah.
for it.
And
It's
like,
always on
man,
time.
The trains,
Never late.
everything, man.
Clean.
What? Clean.
Everyone's very respectful.
Everybody very respectful. But it is expensive. It's expensive,
That's why it's
boy.
clean.
It's expensive.
You're paying for those Alp views. That's what it is. You're paying for the Alps.
And the thing that was mind blowing is people from the surrounding countries, right? They go into Switzerland to work because they get more money, and then they still live in whatever France, Germany, Austria, Italy. Like they still live in their home country. So yeah, that was dope to find out. So yeah.
And they go to check on their bank accounts too.
Yeah.
Make sure their money's safe.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
That's what I reckon it is.
For sure.
But also a question like we spoke before, but you were diabetic.
Yep.
How did you find out about that? And like, was this in America? Was it in Europe? And how has it kind of affected you?
So I found out when I turned, like a week after I turned 18. So like my senior year of high school going into college, right? So I remember just one night, it was random. Like I woke up to go urinate, okay? Go back to sleep, woke up again, go urinate. But like, it's a lot though, you know. It's not like normal. Like it's a lot. Like, and it's like four times at night. And then that was like the first symptom that started to show. And then the next day, I started to get like very fatigued and headaches. And then I started to feel like I had to vomit and throw up, and feel like, but like it. And then I started to feel weaker, right? Like I started to feel like I was losing strength, and feel like somebody was just punching me and pounding me in the head over and over. And then the last symptom was I started to get heartburn when I started eating food and swallowing it. And so I let probably about a week and a half go by, because I just thought like my allergies usually always act up after my birthday. So that's usually springtime, because my birthday's in March. So I let a week and a half go by. I'm like, maybe my allergies just getting sick. I'm going to toughen it up, whatever. And then I remember waking up one morning again, and I was going to urinate, but I was drinking water. I caught myself drinking water at the same time because I was so dehydrated. Like it was crazy, right? So I was like, Mom, like something wrong. And I remember she took me to the urgent care. Before like I was in school, she checked me out, went there, and they did some blood tests, urine tests, and then they came back, told me, you tested positive, you are type 1 diabetic. So I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know if I was going to live. Didn't know if I was going to die, because I didn't know what diabetes was. Like, I'm like, wait, what? And then now colleges are offering me scholarships. So now I'm like, how do I tell them? Like, I'm embarrassed about it. I don't want to tell people. Like, I don't want anybody to know and stuff like that. So I end up signing with my college, but I didn't tell the coach until I got there, because I was so scared, man, that they were gonna take my scholarship away. Yeah. And everybody would be like, no, we don't want to touch him. We don't want to deal with that, and because I didn't know what it was, right? And then on top of that, I went to Arizona. So I went all the way across the United States, right? And all I saw was a negative effect from pictures and on Google and
That's
everything.
The worst thing to do.
Yeah, like people losing limbs and arms and fingers and toes and going blind. Like, it scared me, right? And I'm pretty sure it would scare a lot of people. Like, you live your whole life a certain way, not thinking about what you're eating or doing, right? And then all of a sudden, like, your life does a whole complete 360. Now you have to change, monitor, understand carbs, what your intake is, the corrections, the doses. Like, you have to inject medicine and take shots every single day for the rest of your life, right? And I was kind of a little depressed about it, So I went on to college, still embarrassed to kind of tell people about it, because everybody saw me as this basketball player, right? Fit, healthy, whatever. So I was nervous, scared. Told my coach finally. He was like, it's okay, you're fine. I had to tell the athletic trainer, so they were kind of monitoring me during practices and stuff. And I've never wanted it to be looked at as like a handicap, like far as like, oh, you can only, like, we got to make sure you're okay, or you only can limit it to do this. No, I can do whatever everybody else does, so that was kind of why I didn't want to tell people too, besides being embarrassed and ashamed of it, right? So I started to tell slowly a couple of my teammates and stuff, but still I wasn't telling people, man. Even when I transferred to my 4-year, like I was not telling people.
Just because you're embarrassed?
I was embarrassed, bro, about it. Like, I was still doing my thing with basketball, but like, outside of that, like I was embarrassed.
Like, even your friends, you were
like my close friends, they knew. My close friends knew. Like, but far as just like random people like me telling you,
of course, you're not gonna say.
I wouldn't say that, or I wouldn't even like embrace that, right? So when after my first year playing professionally, right, it was a kid who I met at the gym, and he knew I played basketball. He came up like, "Oh, you play basketball?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I remember he had a Omnipod on his arm, and that's just a meter to monitor your glucose, right? And I was like, "Oh, you diabetic?" And he was like, "Yeah." And his whole demeanor shut down, right? And I was like, "Well, what's wrong?" And then he was like, "I'm embarrassed about it." And I remember as soon as he said that, it took me back to when I first found out I got diagnosed and how I was embarrassed, right? So it hit me in the sensitive part. And so I was like, "You want to know something?" He was like, "Well," I was like, "So am I." He was like, "But wait, you play basketball and all this?" I'm like, "So?" I'm like, "You play basketball?" He's like, "Yeah, I do." But he was like, "I'm embarrassed to go off with a team, you know?" And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Because I have diabetes and stuff." And then so right there, I'm like, dang, I remember when I used to be just like that, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, don't let this being a diabetic define who you are as a person, right? You can do anything anybody else does and more, right? I'm like, yes, we have to be a little disciplined, a little smart, but you can accomplish and do whatever you set out to do. And he was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And his mom was right there, and she kind of started to tear up. I'm like, what's wrong? And then she's like, he was thinking about committing suicide, and I think the kid was like 7 or 8.
Wow.
So I was like, dang. So I remember talking to one of my good friends. He does a lot of my media stuff on my page as well. And I was telling him about it. And then he started asking me questions about like, well, how do you know how to take it? Like, how do you manage it during practices? How do you manage it during the game? Like, how do you do this, that, and the third? And I'm just telling him like how I do stuff. And I was like, I'm just me being me. Like, I don't really think none of it. It's just part of my routine now, right? And he's like, exactly. How many people have your confidence? How many people have your understanding? And how many people are fearless? And I was just like, I don't know. He was like, exactly. He's like, there's people out here thinking about committing suicide, bro, blowing out their brains because they don't know how to deal with the pressure and don't know really the information that because I also went to school for exercise science kinesiology, right? So I understand the body pretty well, too. And I did a lot of research on my own about different vitamins and, like magnesium helps control your blood sugar and helps with muscle function and stuff like that, that I started to take on myself to help me improve my blood sugar because I needed to figure out things that would help me during the course of a season.
Yeah.
Right. So that made me choose my degree field easier. Right. And I never really thought about it, kind of what he said, like how many other people out here in the world don't know that or don't have the mindset you have. So I'm like, there's no other athletes really speaking up about it, like, or if they do have it, like they're not speaking up.
That's
right?
true.
So I'm like, so why not me? Right. So I'm like, I can't be ashamed. I can't be embarrassed of this because I know who I am, what I stand on, and what I believe in as a man, right? First and foremost before anything, So I'm like, I was always taught to be a leader, not a follower. That's what my parents installed at me at a young age, right? And don't be ashamed of your identity. And I'm just like, okay, cool. So I had to sit back and really think and process, like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, right? So I'm going to help anybody who needs help, right? And I want to be put on big platforms to help, not just in my state or my city or in the U.S., but around the world. I want to help global, right? Because it's like, I know I'm not the only one out there that's dealing with this,
Yeah, of course.
right? And once I started to do that, I became more open, more confident, more unapologetic about how I'm going about stuff even more. And I look at it like, man, I'm one of the coldest diabetic basketball players out here in the world. Like for real, and it's like, I wanted to encourage like future athletes and parents that are new to having kids being diagnosed with this, right? And kind of give them that hope and that confidence, like, like this is going to be okay. This is like my kid's not going to die, or I'm not going to die.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Because I've met people that are 90, 100 years old that are living with it and still functioning and moving and moving and grooving, man.
Yeah, of course.
So it's definitely not a negative thing, right? If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with it. So, yeah, that's just been my journey with it, and I thank God I've never had any scares or anything like that with it, you know. But I have seen the negative side with some people with it as well, you know, and I know, okay, I don't want to do that, but I also have a very, very good team of doctors.
That's good.
Right, that I talk to consistently, and I know that cares about me as a person and not just an athlete, but they understand athletics is a big part of my life, and this is what I want to do. And, you know, we also had real honest, brutal conversation. Like, if this is what you want to do with your life, you got to make sure this part is good as well.
Yep.
You know, so I'm like, okay, cool. And then outside of that, like, once this is done, you want to still make sure, like, you know, your life is good and you able to play with your kids and grandkids one day. You know, so that's just a motivation for me, right, and just to help others.
I think I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. And like when that kid came up to you and speaking to you, it was also, like you said, so beneficial for you to be able to help someone. Like, I believe that to you telling that story, it's like the kid helped you and you helped that kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, especially his parents that I'm thinking of committing suicide. You did wonders for him. And like, I just think everything happens for a reason. He came up to you. You don't know what could have happened if he didn't, or if you didn't even just say, I'm diabetic. But you could have been like shy yourself. Like, I don't want to say with this kid. I don't want to scare him. You came out and like just said, hey, I am too. And who knows what he's doing? It could be, playing, you know, living his dream.
For sure, yeah.
And like you said, it's not a negative. As long as you manage it the right way. Like, how do you manage that? The other aspect of it, like, is it in games you have to watch it, or before games, like after games?
So I'll just give you the breakdown. Yeah. So like you'll have two different medicines. So you have a long-acting medicine. That's what you usually take in the morning, and it runs through your body all day. Okay. Right. It runs through your body and your bloodstream all day. And then you have a short-acting insulin, right, which you usually take before you eat food with carbs or anything with sugar, stuff like that. Right. So whatever your corrections is, whatever you and your doctor has your corrections down, that's what you take in the morning and stuff like that. So with my long active, I take 18 units, and then I'll take 1 to 10 every units for my short acting, you know. And that's just how I kind of go about it. But then when it comes to basketball, with my activities, right, before my workout, I check it, and I like to try to have my glucose in a range of at least, when I'm playing, I try to have it at least about 100 to 125, right? So it gives it some room for error just in case if it drops low, you know. And then so I'll do that. Then once it's there, I'll get started with my activity. Then during like halftime of it or middle of practice, halfway through practice, I'll check it. But I have an app on my phone, so I use the Dexcom G7 sensor, so it reads to my phone. So I don't have to. I used to poke my finger in the blood, and I have to put it on the thing. And it like and I became used to that. Right. But it was just becoming too annoying because I got sweat. I'm trying to, you know, I ain't got time for all that, right? Yeah. So the Dexcom is easy because it reads to your phone and it tells you when your blood sugar is about to go up. It tells you when it's stable, and it tells you when it's about to go down, right? So it became a life hack, pretty much, right, for me. So, and then especially as an athlete, because now it's like you don't have to run in and check. Now I can have somebody, like a manager or, you know, whatever, with like the app as well, like a shared screen on their device, and they can tell me going up, or it's good, or it's going down, like, you know. So
they can give you those signals during the game.
Yeah, they can give me it, right, They can just tell me, like, you know. But usually my stuff during games are smooth, man, because like I said, I've been doing this now for a while. I feel like I'm a vet in this field. I'm a veteran in this field now. So I know what works for my body. I know the foods that I like to eat, and I'm a picky eater, so I'm glad I was a picky eater before I was a diabetic because, you know, like now it's like certain foods that I like before, some of them I have to cut out. But like far as like chicken, like I like grilled and baked chicken and steak and stuff like that. So that's easy for me still to eat, you know. Okay.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because I know one other guy that's one or two people that are diabetic.
Okay.
But I've not actually asked them about it.
Right.
So for me, it's so interesting to hear.
Yeah.
I'm sure other people listening might be diabetic. Or know people that are diabetic too.
Right, for sure.
It's all learning for me because I honestly wasn't sure how that would affect you. Right. Oh, it doesn't affect because I've seen like your highlights and stuff. It's constant like energy up, down, up, down, up, down. Like, it's like I wouldn't even know if you didn't tell me.
Right.
I'd have no idea.
Man, it's crazy. If I can get $1 for how many times I heard that,
I bet.
You're diabetic. I'm like, yeah, but you don't look like it. What is a diabetic supposed to look?
Yeah, what do you want me to be like? Yeah,
like, what, to be like? But I get it though. I get it because like you hear all the negative stuff about it, right? When you come across somebody that has it, that doesn't look like they're supposed to have it, you kind of in shock, right? Mm-hmm. Because I've seen, like, when I first got diagnosed, I've seen a lot of people that had it that didn't look like they were supposed to have. I'm like, bro, you a bodybuilder, bro. Hold on, time out. Wait. Like, and just stuff like that. But I did a lot of research. I did a lot of self-research and, stuff on my own.
But like you said, it shouldn't really, it doesn't affect you. It's just whatever aspect of life you just have to just keep an eye on.
Right,
but I mean, you can still run, you can still do all your normal
for sure.
stuff. It's not like it's a
I want to be clear though. Now I ain't Superman now. Like, and anybody that tells you that their blood sugar is perfect all the time, it's not true. You're lying. You're gonna have good days and you're gonna have bad days, right? But it's about how can I keep more good days, right, or keep it right there even. Yeah. You know what I mean? Besides having bad days, and bad days is when your blood sugar is going all over the place. When it's really high, then it's going low. It's like that, right? But how can we keep it even, right? So I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and be like, oh, my stuff is perfect all the time. No, I'll be lying to everybody, right? And I'm too thorough for that. But but it's just about trying to keep it and maintaining, right, and finding that range, right, for your glucose. To stay in this range, so I have it's like a target goal, right? So I try to keep mine anywhere from 80 to 125, 130-ish. I'll try to keep it in that range because that's kind of realistic. Because when you got diabetes, man, sometimes you might wake up in the middle of the night and your stuff skyrocket high for no reason.
How would that affect you? So if it goes over, what's the
when your stuff goes high, and so since I take care of mine, pretty good. I feel the symptoms already going, right? So it'll be like if it's going high, depending on the person, because everybody's body is different too and how their body reacts to it. But for the most part, like I'll kind of feel like a little headaches or like sick a little bit. Like I'll feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like I'll just feel off, right? And then if it goes low and it drops, right? Which people become hypoglycemic. You feel more dizzy, lightheaded, like you're high on medicine or something like that. Like you're there but not there. Like it. Like that's how I feel. I can't really speak for everybody else in the world, right? What their symptoms are when it's high and low, but that's how I feel.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because I wasn't. The effects of it. But like you said, it doesn't affect you.
Nah, not as much. Like I said, like I've had good days and I've had bad days, but I try to keep it right there. I try to, but also, like I said, I have a good team of doctors that I talk to and I tell them, hey,
is this here in Australia or back in the States?
No, so back in the States. Yeah. I still talk to them all the time. But, Australia has good doctors as well, They have really, really good doctors. That's one thing I love about Australia. You got free healthcare.
It's free.
Yeah, free healthcare. But most of the time I'm talking to my team of doctors, like who I trust. Yeah. Right. And they trust me and they know I'm taking care of business. And I'll send them updates on, hey, look, when I'm taking this or if I eat this, my body's reacting this way. What you think about that? And what kind of game plan go from there, keep it pushing.
Tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, how's your season been so far for you? Because I've seen like your highlights and stuff.
Yeah.
How's it been like personally?
Man, bro, I've been going to work.
Yeah.
Like, I would say, and I was just having a conversation with somebody back home in the States and they asked the same thing, right? This is the most comfortable, like confident in just all my skill sets and, and I feel like my scoring ability has really shown, like, yo, like, okay, you can play on a high level,
Yep.
right? How consistent I've been, but like, I've put in a lot of work in the summer to prepare for this year, you know. So yeah, man, I feel good. Like this year, man, like I really feel good because I came out here with a statement to really prove like who Treshawn Gause really is. Not just in Australia, but just around the world, man. Like I can really play at a high level, and I think like my stats and my numbers kind of spoke for themselves like this year.
27 points average?
Yeah,
Was
like
it, right?
yeah, 25, 27, yeah.
7 assists? Something like that.
Eight
assists, yeah, 8 assists.
Six rebounds,
Yeah.
3 steals. Yeah.
There you go.
Not that I look at it. Yeah,
you don't know.
But yeah, man, I really put in some work this summer. I really worked and focused and fine tuned on my 3-ball a little bit better. Like, I've always been getting to mid range and getting downhill, but really working on my runners and my floater game, with my mentors back home and stuff like that. And those guys being very detail oriented, picky with me, and very specific. Like, yo, if you trying to get to that next point, we have to master these, right? You have to. This is a need in your game, what we need to put in. But also having previous coaches, that I talk to still and keep giving me advice and, stuff like that. But yeah, man, I did my thing. I did my thing.
Does it help the environment you're in? By that I mean like just little things like where you live, getting to training, just little things like that. Does that all help to make you feel comfortable, relaxed, and kind of, you know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, I think being in Australia overall, it makes me comfortable. Like I love it, right? And I'm in a great area, Olympic Park. Man,
yeah, it's pretty good.
Entertainment area, right? And having a ferry boat right in front of my place, like, man, I've never caught a ferry boat in my life. I didn't even really know what a ferry boat was before I came here, right? And caught it, and just going to experience like the Sydney Opera House, right? And meeting great people here, like, and really having real genuine bonds and connections, just like meeting you and then other guys and then teammates and stuff that I've had and coaches, just like, I really can't take for granted, and it's really a blessing in disguise by meeting all of these people, right? And all of them are nothing but genuine and thorough and honest people, So, yeah.
Yeah, Australians are like that.
Yeah,
man.
They're
the nicest, most welcoming people.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate to travel around the world, and Australians are just, and they're good, like fun as well. They're good banter.
For sure.
They're just laid back, welcoming.
Yeah.
I love it, and obviously it's helped you to settle here, and because was it your first year?
Yeah, first
year
year out here, man. Yeah,
Because you've been at the Kings as well, like on the Kings runs.
Yep.
How was that going?
So it just ended last week was the last week, but even before that, like when I got to Sydney, I got on with the Kings,
Yeah, you have to mention that story.
That's
a good story.
So basically, right? I originally came out to Australia. I played in Perth, in a league over in Perth, and averaging about 40 a game.
40, not that you're counting, but yeah.
And then took a risk, came over to Sydney, and like I said, I'm a big firm believer in God, right? And I was so happy to go to a Sydney Kings game, and it was the Christmas game or the game before the Christmas game. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
And I remember I was with some guys, and I'm like, man, if I ever got opportunity, to just talk to the coach, like, man, I'll go up. And I'm pretty sure they like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, for real, like, because I like I said, I could see myself playing, right, in that arena with those guys at that level and stuff. And it's so crazy, right, that the assistant coach's wife and family was sitting, like, right across from me. So when the game was over with, Coach Billy walked up in the stands to go see his family. And so I'm like, thank you, God. So I went right up to him, introduced myself, like, hey, what's up, coach? I'm Treshawn Gause. Like, I just love to get opportunity. And he was like, American? I'm like, yeah. And he knew one of the guys who I was with.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you know him? And the guy was like, yeah, I know, Trey. And he was like, okay, come to practice. And, you know, they gave me an opportunity, and I came to practice, you know, showed that I really can compete at that level, and I'm not backing down from anybody, any challenge, you know. And after that practice, Coach Gorge, he was like, yes, I want to talk to you. And so I thought, I was like, oh, dang, they probably going to kick me out. I'm like, well, at least I tried, you know. They finna tell me go home. And he sat down, and he was like, where you from? And told him we just had a talk. He told me, he was just like, man, I love what you can do. Keep coming, you know. So I'm forever grateful for Coach Billy, you know, for opening up the doors for me, and then meeting Coach Gorge.
Yep.
For allowing me to stick around and really learn and compete with those guys and really help me out and fine-tune my game. Even Coach Case, Coach Sean, you know, like me and you know Campbell, like, you know, K9, like all those guys, man, are really good people, right? And they all embrace me. So even the players, Sean Bruce, Jalen Adams, Quad Noy, you know, Spurs, you know, all those guys, right? JG, Calaris, like Henry Lau, like those guys, like they all like embraced me, right? And I think that they all, like, you know, respected how I came in and approached the game and competed, you know, with them and against them and stuff like that, right? And they also, you know, showed me some stuff, and I've learned from them as well. So I'm forever grateful for the Sydney Kings organization for allowing me to be a part of them and help them out, you know. So yeah.
But again, everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens
you
for
went
a
to that,
reason.
you didn't go to that game.
Right.
Come up.
Exactly, right.
And just happened to be where you sat.
Exactly.
The
right.
world works in
and this
weird
was
ways.
And this was crazy, right? When I got in Sydney, I got sick. So I wasn't even supposed to go to it. I was like, bro, I'm not going to it. But I ended up going. I was not even feeling good.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, it was meant to be.
Yeah, man. So
does it get pretty competitive at those runs when you were there? Does it get pretty,
Oh yeah. Like you talking about practices or the runs?
A bit of both.
Practices for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, practice is physical, right? Mm-hmm. Physical, bigger bodies. Obviously, in the NBL, right? It's bigger bodies, speed. People can make tougher shots, like the length, you know. But it only made me into a better player, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I got to make this adjustment. Okay, cool. I got to do this a little bit better, right? And also getting feedback from the coaches, right? Like, hey, you have to do this. Like, you know, Coach Sean and Coach Billy, like, you have to do this. You need to do this. If you want to be this type of elite guard, you have to do this. You need to keep picking up. You need to try to get in the paint every time. Like, you know, and like having to go against all these elite players as well, you know, it makes me on my P's and Q's and make my game sharper, or you're going to get exposed.
Yeah.
Like, right? You're going to get exposed. So, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah. But the runs definitely, because now all the NBL 1 guys come in there, and now we all can compete, and we can go after each other as well, too. So
a lot of trash talk?
Yeah, a lot of trash talk, because it's like it's a winner court and a loser court, and you don't want to lose.
Oh, there's loser court?
Yeah, they got a winner and a loser court. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it get cutthroat in there. Yeah.
Have you been on the loser court before?
I had a day where I was on there, right? But I had some winning courts though. Yeah. So no, it's competitive because every team it's not no downfall on any team. Everybody can play,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's a star on their team where they're coming from, or has a major role on their team. So you know, it's kill to be killed in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. I think all the guys really enjoyed it. So yeah.
I can imagine you learn a lot from each other.
Sure.
But then, like, if you're competing against them, do you not try and show off all like your moves? You see what I mean? Because if you're in the same league and you're competing against someone, you don't want to kind of show them everything in practice.
It don't matter.
You just go,
matter, man. Hey, listen, I gotta kill whoever in front of me. That's that. I don't know any different, right?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't raised, take it easy or hot. No, if you can't stop it, I'm gonna keep doing it, right? If it's not broke, why fix it? You know what I mean? So it's, hey,
Fair enough. Yeah.
hey, whatever hey, you at your own risk.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It'd be cool to like, see that in person one day, just because.
For sure.
Yeah, like the level must be so high, especially like you
definitely.
said, the practices for the Kings.
Yeah.
Like the level was just like it's another level up.
For sure.
And you realize what you got to do to work on and get to be able to develop to get to that level. Because you got international players playing there, represent their country.
Like, yeah.
And they've played against like, Bull Quell, for example, who on like, he played against like LeBron, KD, everyone in the Olympics.
Yeah, so you got Olympic athletes in there, man. Like, it's no joke.
Yeah.
It's no joke, like for real. Yeah, so I mean, especially, it's an eye-opener for me because being on that stage now, like this is like the Los Angeles Lakers of Australia, right?
True,
The Sydney Kings, like for real. And you have elite level athletes, like world-class athletes in there now, like, right? You have Olympic athletes that you're going against, right? So you have to be on your A game all the time. Or they're going to expose you, right? Because this is their job. Like, this is all of our jobs, right? So, and we're trying to get better and trying to win a championship and compete, like, so yeah, it was fun.
What's like the next step for you then? Because now obviously I know your season's finished.
Yep.
What's the next plan going forward, the next few months look like for you?
Obviously, like, playing somewhere, like, if that's coming back to Australia, which I would love to come back and play, play again, like, man, because I'm very comfortable here now. But, even if it's back over in Europe or, the UK, Asia, like, I'm willing to go anywhere and just show what I got. I know I can compete at a high level for sure. But yeah, if it's coming back to Australia, I definitely wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yes,
you need to come back to Australia.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna say it for you. You need to be back in Australia.
I really want to.
I want to be seeing you at the next level.
For sure.
In Australia, competing like NBL 1.
For sure.
Minimum. That's what I think. Because I've seen your stuff. That's the minimum where I think you should be. Is NBL 1.
I can do NBL 1.
If it's
NBL,
the East, North, wherever.
Yeah.
Because I think, you can easily kill it at that level.
For sure. No, definitely. Yeah, so we'll see what the future holds, but I got a good feeling.
It's going to be a bright future.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's been good to chat to you.
For sure.
I appreciate you coming in and your time and
I
everything.
appreciate you for having me, man.
Anytime. When you're back next year. Oh, actually, I just want to quickly go. Touch on your coaching. You do coaching as well.
Yeah,
I just want to quickly get that in people. Because you're a coach too.
Yeah. So
you're not just a player.
Yeah, of course. So I do personal training, so strength and conditioning and basketball skills training. Like I said, I have my bachelor's degree in exercise science, kinesiology, right? And I use that as well alongside of playing, but I also love to share my experience and my knowledge with the younger generation, right, to help them if they have aspirations to be a professional athlete, right? Like, I really love to train kids who are serious about this, that want to turn their dreams into reality, right? Because I can get on them a certain type of way and I can really hold them accountable. And I think the parents that understand that embrace that as well, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to waste anybody's time or money, right? Because I don't want to waste mine, right? Because I take this very serious because this game has really saved my life, right? And I want to be able to help those kids see what I saw and see even more, you know, and I really take pride in that, right? Pushing them to levels and a mindset to they never thought that they can have before, but just also showing them, like, when they ask me, like, Trey, how did you become a pro? I'm showing you by you putting in this work.
Yeah.
That's how. You can't cheat this. What's done in the dark will come to the light, right? So if you working out, it's going to show, right? It might not be right now. It might not be that next month, but it's going to come out eventually, right? And if you're not working out, it's going to show too.
100%.
You feel me? So
do you do that? Do you go to people? Like, if they like ask for your services to, hey, coach, do you go to them or will they come to you? Do you have somewhere that you go?
So they can come to me. We go to different venues or gyms, or I'll go to them if they have something as well. But also back in the States, I do this too.
Yeah.
I have some really good players back in the States. So yeah, man, I'm trying to make it global. I'm trying to make this global, like for real, what I'm doing.
Yeah, give it it's gonna take off.
For sure.
100%.
For sure.
But yeah, appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate it.
When you're back next year, which you will be.
For sure, definitely.
MBO1, yeah, come in and we'll talk some more. Appreciate you coming in, my friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's that. Easy.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was good.
It was all right?
Good, yeah.